Welcome to yet another episode of the Banana Peels Show with your boy Banana. The name is Tlotliso, for those who know me. You'll see the name right there, Gregory Makoba, if you're wondering. That's the second name. Although my boy Thorny is here with me today, bro. And shout out, I've got a special guest for you guys. The name is Lihlonolo Mukotedi.
Salute.
If you're wondering,
Well,
Lerato Tulu there is
don't
a whole different
don't
story.
worry about the name. Yeah, don't worry about that. I had to steal someone's phone, and make a plan just for this meeting. This is how much I care about being here and seeing you, Toti. So I had to actually steal someone's phone just to make a plan just to be here, dog. You know what I'm saying?
No,
But
shout
shout out,
out.
dog. Thanks for having me here, bro. Like I always say, when it comes to sports, I know how passionate you are. It's rare to find people that are as passionate as I am. So, yeah, man, I've been dying to come on, bro. I've just been watching, but I've been dying to actually, come here, and educate you a little bit, just
I
school
I
you a little bit.
appreciate you, my brother. I appreciate you, my brother, because you're one of those homies, bro. I obviously, when you and I met, I look
Yeah,
at you as like a big brother to me, bro. So I
yeah,
appreciate you as a homie, as
yeah.
well. So thank you for pulling through, bro. But yeah, bro, you can intro yourself, bro, if you wish, bro. I just told the people
Yeah,
who you are,
yeah,
but you
man.
can intro yourself, bro.
The people just need to know Shoni's here, bro. And yeah,
Let's
man,
go.
let's get into football.
Let's
I
go.
love football. That's it. And there's only two teams to support: Arsenal and Pirates. And yeah, man, I keep it simple like that. Yeah, there's no need to complicate it. But I think we're talking about other teams here, totally. So we're here to talk about, you know, other teams that have made it by luck. Because my team was supposed to be there. It was supposed to be Arsenal versus Barcelona, and then Arsenal win it 3-1. You know,
Against Barca.
that's what. Yeah, 3-1, Baba. 3-1.
No, I
3-1.
mean, I have no quarrels whatsoever with the man who is, very interested in wishful thinking. I have no qualms
Oh,
whatsoever
okay.
about that, bro. I'm
Oh, all
I'm okay
right.
with that, bro.
So
I'm
you
okay
say
with.
I have delusions of grandeur, hmm? Yeah. Hey, when,
Hey, bro,
hey.
I'm not gonna use such big terms, but delusion of grandeur may just be on the, spectrum. May just be on the spectrum, bro. But yeah, bro, shout
Yo.
out, shout out. I think
So good.
very straightforward, bro. Like it's the Champions League, bro. It's uh
It is.
31st of
It is.
May, I believe. Yeah, 31st of May,
Yeah.
Champions League finals. We've had an amazing season so far, bro. And I think every
Sure.
football fan will agree that this new format of the new Champions League has brought about excitement. I think from the get
Mm,
go, I think people are not sure about it initially. Obviously, it's a new
mm,
format. It's a
mm,
league now more than it ever was
mm.
before. Um,
Represents the
the
title
title,
champions, you
exactly.
know,
I
not
mean,
champions group stage, but yes,
no.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But but
Yeah.
but I think the organizers did a good job in getting the
Mm,
excitement back in again. I think for the first
mm,
time in a while now we have sort of uh, two teams that no one was expecting to be in the finals.
exactly.
It's not so clear cut that, oh, we're gonna have
Mm,
Madrid, we're gonna have Barca, we're gonna have Bayern in the
mm.
finals. You know what I mean? Because of the seeding and how it was before. I think it's
Like, did
very
you predict
exciting.
that? Can you say you saw Inter and PSG in a
No,
final? Like, no, no.
no,
Even if they change this whole system and you've got the league, there's no
no,
way anyone had Inter or
no.
PSG on the cards as these guys are gonna go all the way. Even during the what is it, that league stage where Liverpool was unbeaten, I don't remember. I thought Inter would compete. I
I
didn't think they'd make it to the final.
I had Liverpool as the clear favorite because
Yeah.
I saw how they were performing in the Premier League, right? And that's almost always the marker, right? We look at how well are you doing in your respective league and
Form is
how
always different,
eh,
like these competitions, each competition has its own form, but I'll agree with you with the notion that I can win in the league and I can use the confidence from that win
to
to
take
assist
it.
me in a different competition. So
Yes, and we
in
always look at
in
that as a
that,
marker. And yes,
Exactly.
sometimes we definitely are sort of way off, right? In saying that, okay, well, you're doing well in the league, you're going to perform well in the Champions League or whatever, or
Sure.
in any other sort of cup competition. But
Yeah.
we use it as a marker, particularly for teams in the Premier League as well, to say, oh, yeah, Premier League, they're definitely going to smash it. But it doesn't always translate to that. So, no, to your question, I didn't think Inter were going to go in, bro. I didn't think PSG were going to be in the finals, bro. Not at all.
Don't you feel like it's the most 50-50 final we've ever had, bro? Like
Definitely.
50-50.
Definitely.
Like,
I feel like either one of these teams can win, and I feel like either one of them stand a chance to win this Champions League final. So to definitely draw the lines here, I'm going for Inter, bro. I'm going for Inter. I have Inter winning this one.
okay.
Straight from the bat, bro. I've got Inter winning this one, and I'll give you my reasons why. I'll give you my
Give
reasons
me a
why
reason.
I feel. No,
Give
no,
me, give me your reasons.
it's plenty. It's plenty, bro. It's plenty to go on. We're still gonna talk about it. We're still gonna chop it up. But I feel like Inter are definitely gonna win this one. They are
Okay.
they are primed to win this one, bro. They're definitely primed to win this one, and not only because of just who they are as a team and who they
Okay.
have as a coach, but because
Okay.
of what them being in this competition means for football heritage overall.
Okay.
They only have 3 Champions League, all right, 3 Champions Leagues, and they are respected amongst Europe's finest, but definitely not looked at as one of the best.
Yeah.
That that run with Mourinho in 2010, where they won the Champions League, sort of solidified
Hey.
them as one of the best teams in Europe, right? But they still didn't have the respect of other teams around Europe.
And the history, if we have to go back to the Zanetti eras, you know, hey, the team is known as a colossal
A
club.
force, a force. But they always fell short, Sony. They always fell short because before that they only won in the 1960s. That's where they had their Champions Leagues in the 1960s, bro. And we were not alive to even,
Hey,
we
that's
didn't
true.
we didn't even think about Champions League. So in the early 2000s later on. So to see a team like that solidify themselves as one of the greatest European teams, for me, I feel like is very much good for Inter, and I see them doing that. And to continue the tradition of Italian grit, defensive style football,
Okay.
I
Cupping
s-
game.
the cupping game, bro.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like, and I see them going into
Yeah.
this and actually winning the entire thing, as opposed to PSG.
Hey, there's Madalas in your team, my guy. You make a valid point in terms of, the whole concept of heritage. We know that Real Madrid, that got them over the line. If you think about the time when Zidane was managing Real Madrid, they weren't performing well in the league.
No.
And they weren't necessarily performing well in the Champions League even, but results would just somehow go their way. They would always be that, I don't know, man. When we talk about the football gods, it seemed that things would just go in a certain way. And if we have to go on heritage, they have that heritage on their side in terms of the Champions League. PSG's never won it.
If
They've had their
if
times.
if by
They've had
football
players.
if by football gods, Lonnie, we mean Florentino Perez, then yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just
You,
saying.
you, you want you want that guy to come first.
I'm
Don't
just
you
saying, bro.
Hey, that guy. Hey, when
I'm just
well,
saying.
it's a business. Let's just agree. Football, the beautiful game. It hurts to say it, but at times it feels like it's dead. We
Yeah,
we we
yeah.
now just have those moments that are just love. So would you say then, if Inter won, football wins versus money?
100%, 100%, because I think you and I touched on it, right? And you spoke about the core, the spine of Inter. In the past couple of years, you've seen them sort of stay intact and with the same group of players,
Yeah.
right? Not too many changes, right? Not too
Yeah.
many
Orin
changes there.
Lukaku, Onana. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. Just those two. Turam coming in, Summer coming
Yes.
in. You know, those are the only two changes you see there. But you look at a team like PSG who has so much money invested in them, and that whole squad is entirely different from what they looked like 3 years ago, right?
Entirely, my guy.
Entirely.
Entirely. And not just the squad, the culture. The culture's changed, bro. We know that these people, and this will just go into, I believe, I want PSG to win. I think it will mean more for them. I feel that they haven't won anything. George Weah's played there, Ronaldinho's played there, but they still haven't cemented themselves as a big team. And the notion of just selling T-shirts, Neymar's, Messi, doing the Louis the Perez thing where you're saying, there's that part, like I said, man, like despite that, I think they tried to copy the model, and that model takes time, bro.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not something in the modern day game. I think it's feasible that you can just do it in a short space and time. It really needs you to, like,
Grind.
actually grind and win titles, solidify the foundation of being a successful club, and then from there you can branch out and look at concepts of just signing those exclusive elite players who are big names, and just bringing them on. I mean, even Real Madrid is changing their ways. They're trying to sign young starlets. That was
Yeah.
the whole plan with Odegaard, Endrick, all these other guys, to try and get the young stars signed. But I like I like what PSG is doing. I like what Luis Enrique is doing. I like the way they play football. Enrique's experience, so
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
even has them change their ways. The energy of that team, bruh. You still have the core of players like Marquinhos, who, playing wise, hasn't been great, but I think leadership wise has been great. You still have Hakimi there. So I think those are the guys that are directing. People would say Dembele. I still think Dembele, he's French, but I think the people that understand the culture of that club is more Hakimi and
And
Marquinhos.
Marquinhos, yeah. I think those are the only two players, you're right, who are the cores, so to speak, of that team. No other player is definitely that. I like the players. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like some of the players. I think I mentioned to you João Neves as one of
Hey,
my favorites to watch.
you need to look
Right?
out for him. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely I admire him. I like him a lot, and I see him as one of those good players. But I'm looking at their runs, sort of the run to the finals,
Okay.
and I am more inclined, and again leaning towards Inter Milan for me, just winning it based on their performances.
You
And
love that defensive approach, eh? You really love this whole defensive,
bro,
absorbing pressure, then, hey, getting those fullbacks to run up the channels and get the
bro,
ball in the foot to Thuram and Martinez.
I'm telling you, it does sound cliche, but defense wins championships.
Fergie time.
Defense
Fer-
wins championship, bro. And it's all about that. And I made that analogy about the boxer who can sort of withstand those punches, right? To say, I'm going to take the punches. I'm going to take the punches so much so that you need to start doubting whether your punches are heavy enough to take me down. And right in that moment where you are starting to doubt yourself is where I come in, and I come in for the sucker punch. And that's what I see. That's what I see, and that's how I see this finals playing out. Inter, interestingly enough, have only averaged about 47%, 47 point something percentage of possession in the entire
Okay.
Champions League. That's less than
All right.
50% possession, and
Yeah.
that's their sort of identity. They're not gonna go all out for the attack, contrary to obviously what they've been playing, say in the past 3 matches, well, 2 matches really, because against Feyenoord, I don't think they were really all out attacking. They just were stronger than Feyenoord. Against
That's
Bayern,
crazy. 40 something percent. I saw something else as well that showed that, geez, to have less of the ball, and then when you check this stat that I saw that said that out of all the teams, when you look from coming from a losing position, drawing, winning, they had 1%
yeah,
when it came from like a losing position. Everybody else, it was different. Like literally, it's 1%, and I think the next team after that, it's like 17. Like that's that. Then it starts going up. It's like I think it was Liverpool. Then I think it was what do you call it, Inter. Then maybe Liverpool and another team. Arsenal was like third or fourth, and I think PSG was like fifth or somewhere there. But I was just thinking about what you said about they had 40
40.
something percent on average, but they only conceded one
Wha-
goal, and they had,
They only conceded one goal in the group stages. That is wild to me, bro. Because yes, now obviously we're looking at the entire, obviously UCL, right? From Feyenoord, Bayern, and Barca, they've managed to concede 10 more goals within just those three teams. I think they've conceded what? Um, I think two against against Feyenoord, or three against Feyenoord, and then against Barca,
yeah,
Bayern.
knockout round you can be forgiven because yeah, man, you are going to be a bit more open because
Yeah,
it's that whole we know as South Africans, it's that wafa wafa. Like something has to give,
yeah,
so you will be more prone to also opening yourself up more because things have to be done. Whereas at that stage when it's still in that league format that we now have, you can be more pragmatic in how you play. But this format of you only playing a team once, wow, bro. You can't have that whole second leg thing. You literally have to change your strategy for every single team that you're going to play. You're playing this team at home, this team away, and so on.
and that's why the final for me is different, because the final sort of takes you away from that whole knockout phase that we have, right? When it's the semifinals and or it's the quarterfinals. When if it's the
Yeah,
finals, it's literally that. It's a wafa wafa style situation where they know that they just have to withstand and just hold on to it.
but they
They've
didn't win. They didn't win the Italian Cup. That was Wafa Wafa, and they didn't win that, my brother.
the
They
Scudetto,
didn't win that. They didn't win that.
the Scudetto, you mean?
Did they win the Italian Cup?
No,
Who
no,
won the Italian Cup?
no, no. I don't think they won the Italian Cup either.
Who kicked them out?
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure who kicked them
I
out.
think some team kicked them out, and it's also a cup competition. I just feel that
Champions League is different, bro. Champions League is different, and this is a final that we're talking about here, Thorny. We're not talking about some, Italian cup competition like a
oh,
Carabao
here
Cup.
we go.
You know
I'm
what I
waiting for
mean?
you to put the shade. I'm waiting for you to put the shade, bro.
But my point is,
Yeah,
they are a very solid defensive team. Sommer's got 8 clean sheets in the entire tournament. That's eight
they're
clean
all
sheets,
going.
bro.
Like I'm gonna say, they're all gonna. You said the punches. I like the analogy you made, that boxing analogy. But what if they can't take the punches? PSG, I like right there. I don't want to say I because it's gonna sound like I support. No, no, no. They, okay, they. Let me emphasize that they have an attack force that's crazy, bro. You've got you've got Cravo on that side.
Yeah.
You've got Usman Dembele who they can alternate into a winger position into a striker.
Yeah,
You've
both.
still got
Yeah.
players like Ramos coming off the bench, and he definitely wants to prove a point. I haven't even mentioned Bakola or Doe. I haven't even mentioned those people who, like, literally, you could swap, you could rearrange the formation to suit whatever it is that you want to do. Then you still have Vitinha, who 90% pass completion. I told you even before that for an attacking midfielder to have that high percentage, it says a lot. Defensive midfielders normally have a higher rate because they make short passes. They're not looking at changing sides, looking for the runner and stuff. There's only a few that do that, like Jorginho. He was the guy you knew could spray a long pass and such. But for Vitinha to have that 90% pass completion, that already tells me that that's a maestro. That's a maestro in that midfield. And then you actually have good bodies. You like João Neves. He's an engine. He runs around there. He cleans up. Like he gets the job done. Like he literally gets it done. And you have your players, Fabian Ruiz. He's there, tall guy, experienced as well. He knows what it takes to actually, play. You still have those amazing fullbacks, despite the fact that I would say I like Dumfries and DeMarco. The way they play in that system is It's nice. But they're not Hakimi or Nuno Mendes. You know, Nuno Mendes is a monster.
No, for
Fit,
sure.
fast, strong. Like,
Younger.
it's yeah, you know. I would say you have me beat with the centre backs, bro. I'm not a fan of, you know, I like the leadership of Marquinhos, but I'm not a fan of him these days in terms of performance, and I'm not sure about that Pacho guy. He's iffy. And I guess with Sommer and Donnarumma, you could take either or. I can see you're a Sommer fan from how
Yeah,
you talk.
I'm definitely a summer fan because one, here's my one critique about Donnarumma. He's
Okay.
got he's got some moments and just momentary lapse of concentration.
You can say it. He's got a Bozo gene.
He definitely does,
Yeah.
and reflexes are not so spot on. And it not because he's a bad goalkeeper, but because he's so tall. So his reflexes are not going to be so. He's not going to be so agile as opposed to Sommer. He's very good. Don't get me wrong. He's a super great goalkeeper. He can make absolutely amazing saves, but his reflexes are not so great. Only because he's so tall and so big. So
I
he's
think he has good positioning though.
definitely.
Sometimes you don't need to be like insanely that you need speed, you need those reflexes. But I think if as a keeper you're at the right space, I think not to digress too much. That's what kills sometimes even Onana positioning. You know, you need to be in the right position. I used to see it with De Gea where he would save a ball with his feet because he's in the right position to
Position.
make that save.
100%.
So I would see some goals that come in, you know, again digressing United, and I would see that where Onana is like, bro, you shouldn't be there. That's not where you should be to make that save. So I think Donnarumma, at least, he's in the right places. That save he made, man. I wanted Odegaard to score, so oh man, like, okay, let me put it like this: if we're saying that Inter have taken the brunt of the attack and only conceded, I guess if we have to do
Which they have.
a combined starting 11, okay, I'm still choosing Donnarumma, but I guess I can concede Sommer being, you know, the safe hands.
Only based on what we have. And yes, you're as good as your defense, right? As a
Okay.
keeper. And the fact that Sommer has 8 clean sheets definitely has a lot to do with him. But more so to do with those two guys, Bastoni and Achebi.
Bastoni, bro.
Those two guys, Bastoni and Achebi. So for me, when I'm looking at it and I'm just analyzing everything else, and I do want PSG to win, but exactly that, Inter has faced the brunt of the attack from Bayern Munich, from Feyenoord, who were literally outscoring teams. Bayern were outscoring teams. Barcelona were outscoring teams. And
Barcelona.
and what has that proven to me is that Totliso, you are right to be a firm believer of defense because that's what you've seen. You've seen defense trump attack during these playoff runs and during this obviously UEFA Champions League season this year because that's what's happened with Inter. They've been defeating all these attacking teams. So to have a team like PSG who is so attack minded to come against this defensive team, I'm taken back to that 2006 Italian team to say, well, I'm going to go defense. I'm definitely going to go defense because that's, for me, what I feel like is going to help win this Champions League.
I though think that PSG can open that defense, and the reason why I say that is Unai. If you look at the teams that he's managed, your Villarreal, you know, he got those teams to be very solid when it comes to that type of playing style. I'm not going to say it's exactly like Inzaghi, but that absorption of pressure and scoring 1 or 2 goals and then
Enrique,
being
you mean
able
Enrique?
No. I mean Unai.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
talking about Unai now.
Okay.
At Villarreal.
Okay.
And then he went to Aston Villa. Remember,
Yeah.
we're talking about past games.
Okay.
I saw PSG be able to like bum rush Villa. And
They did.
Villa's a well organized team.
They
That's
did.
a well organized team. In that first match, it was just like, whoa, we didn't expect it to be this hard. And that can also happen to Inter, where the attack can just be, like, whoa, this we didn't expect it to be like that. I mean, as defensively amazing as Inter has been, I mean, Barca was scoring goals, bro. That game between them and Barca, home and away, goals were going in, bro. Now it's just that they were going in on both ends. If Barca knew how to actually
Defend.
stop Inter from actually, getting them, it's almost like Inter was like exactly like you're saying. They were like, yeah, take the shots. You scored your goal. We'll score another one. Oh, you'll score. We'll score another one. And it was just that. So
Although, although,
my
although,
concern can.
although Barca are better and were a better attacking threat than PSG for me. Just throwing it in there, but you can go ahead. Just throwing it in there.
Yeah, okay. I would say Rafinha, Yamal, Lewandowski, pound for pound. Yeah, okay. I guess you've got it there. Also, the midfield of Barca's pretty strong, but then that defense of Barca is not good. And I
No,
think with PSG, those fullbacks, man, Hakimi and Nunez, I'm telling you, they're going to help. They're going to help
yeah.
plug up those holes where if ever it happens that they score two goals, I feel like they'll concede only one, and then PSG win it 2-1. I don't see a scenario where PSG score two goals and it happens that now, what do you call it? Inter scores three goals or two goals and it goes to extra time. I don't see that happening. I
Please,
just don't see that happening.
please go back to your point. You were making about Unai, obviously, and the transition, and I think you were sort of mentioning how they obviously bum rushed Aston Villa into winning, and obviously they're a run with Liverpool and Arsenal leading up to the final.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I would say that for beating the English teams, we know how English teams play. You know how they play, and I'm not gonna run away from the fact that Aston Villa almost had their number on when they played the second time around. Like it literally just needed, like, they needed one goal, bro. Just one more goal, and that game goes to extra time. Like that that would have changed the dynamic of everything. With Arsenal, it's not easy to say this. I think there it was just Enrique was just a better manager.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm a fan of Arteta. I think Arteta, this is his first gig, but I think Enrique is the one with more experience. He understood what it actually takes to grind out results, and to think that he still had certain players there that hadn't played at that level or weren't as experienced as some of our players, but they still got the job done. So, like I'm saying, for me, the key influence is Enrique for PSG. Whereas with Inzaghi, I think he organizes the team well, but I think the team in itself is already structured. Like they understand what they need to do, and they do it well. But
I,
I don't know. I just feel that
I feel like I
I've
feel
told.
like you're downplaying Inzaghi. Then, if you're saying that the team is already structured, he's the one
I feel
responsible
it's
for that structure.
structured. But then in the league, what happened in the league? What happened in the cup competitions? What happened? Those you guys were pushing for a treble. You weren't pushing to just take the Champions League.
I
They
feel like
weren't pushing for.
I feel like in the league
Yeah.
they were definitely unlucky. They and I we had a bit of a conversation about this. In the league, they scored 79 goals. They conceded about 37 goals, right? 35 goals rather. They had the highest goal difference in Italy by far, with even opposed to Napoli, the winners. They had a 44
Okay.
goal difference. So they are the team that they think they are. They are a defensive menace. That's what Inter are. They are a defensive menace. You're not going to score against them. And this year was one of those anomaly years for them, right? Where they are
Yeah.
actually scoring. They're not just
Yeah,
defending,
Bologna.
but they are
Bologna was
scoring.
that sucker punch you were talking about. That Bologna loss, bro,
Unfortunately.
was came from nowhere, and it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, right? And it's those little defining moments, unfortunately, that make the league. And I feel like they were very much unlucky in the league. But had it not been for that game, we would have had and we would have had Inter actually win the league on goal difference. Think two, and these are facts, Shoni. They were what, 1 point shy of each other. Had it been not for that loss, it was going to be a draw, right? They would have had the same points as Napoli, same losses, same draws, but the goal difference was going to edge out Napoli, unfortunately, and Inter were going to win the Scudetto.
Yeah, we're going to. They could have edged where. That's nice.
You threw me into
These
that
numbers
realm.
are nice, my brother.
You threw me into
These,
that
these
realm.
numbers. These numbers are nice. This Pythagoras. It's nice, my brother.
You
Ne?
threw me
Ah,
into
it's
that
nice.
realm. But
It's delicious.
Okay.
But I'm saying to you, dog, that's like now I feel like I don't feel like Inter's a happy camp. I think it's a camp of two things can happen. It's either they can come here hungry, and if they come hungry, yeah, then I'm a bit worried.
because they haven't won
They want to
anything.
eat.
Because
Yeah,
they haven't
that-
won
that-
anything.
but they can also come here, hey, like saps. They can come here sad, looking like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, bruh, and like all depressed, dog. Like, hey, justice for Eeyore, by the way. Like, like they could come there and like they can be like sad, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, you said it. You've even actually alluded. Who does it? Like, does it mean more for Inter to win it, or does it mean more for It means more for PSG, bruh.
It does.
3. We're going for the 3.
Yeah,
Huh?
it does. It means more for
Huh?
PSG than it does for Inter. 100%. I think.
What do they say in French? Trois. It's trois. Yeah, get trois. Yeah, trois. Menage a trois. Yeah, bro. Menage a trois. Yeah. Now I get it. Now I get where it's going. This thing now it makes sense, dog. So
menage a
that's what
trois.
we're going for, dog. That's what they're going for. They're going for the league, the cup, and the Champions League, dog. Like it's.
I can.
Who wouldn't want to be part of that, bro?
I concede, bro, and we all want that. We all want that for PSG because yes, we've seen it. It looks like and it seems like the football gods are, just awarding everyone that has never won anything in their lives, and 100%. And you also mentioned it. They've invested so much in PSG for them to get something back. It's time for them to get something back, and it would be a great time for them to get something back.
For sure.
But
For sure.
But in the same breath, I am not leaning towards PSG winning this one, only because they're so young, only because they might have time. If we're saying that they've now built the culture, then they definitely stand a chance of winning again in the next couple of years. However, I've got people like Mkhitaryan, who is like fine wine over there. I've got Barella.
Wheelchair, pensioner. Yeah.
Right.
No, not a pensioner. I like Barella. I can't say anything bad about Barella.
I've got Chanaloglu, who is a menace, right? And toe for toe, obviously, he can go up against anyone. I like Dumfries more than anything, and I feel like he's more underrated because he doesn't have the flair that maybe people would expect him to have. DeMarco,
He gets the job done.
he gets the job done. He's gritty. He gets the job done. That's it. Thuram and Martinez are those also very witty players. We sort of alluded to it as well. They play a
Amazing
two-man game.
relationship.
Amazing relationship. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's only because of Martinez and because of how selfless he is. He had that amazing relationship with Lukaku
True.
when they won the league.
True. You see that goal that he scored, bro, where Thuram lays it up for him. They've just been playing replays of that, where he literally it's basically he's just saying, "Yo, I'm leaving it here for you. Place this.
Twara.
Just put it wherever you want to put it. Just put it, bro. Like, just give it to them, dog."
So I'm definitely leaning towards them. And yes, bro, it will mean more for PSG than it actually does for Inter to win this one. But I definitely have to go Inter on this one. And yeah, I know you going PSG, but we'll see how it goes. Do you have a? I mean, I've got my combined starting 11.
Okay. You were selling me on some. I had Donnarumma there, but I'm kind of thinking, Tatiso might have convinced me otherwise.
I'm definitely gonna go for the man that has 8 clean sheets. I'm gonna go for Soma.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay,
go
let's
for
go.
Soma.
Okay.
I'm gonna
I'll
go.
change.
I'm definitely gonna go
I'll
for
put
that guy
Sommer there as well.
that stifled Rafinha and Lamine and all of those guys. I'm definitely gonna go for Sommer.
Donnarumma stopped Odegaard, bro. He stopped Odegaard. All right.
Martin.
Odegaard. Do you understand? Odegaard, my guy. That's Odegaard, my guy.
That's a
And let's move on for that because I don't want you to say
okay.
anything bad
Okay.
about Odegaard.
Okay.
That's my guy,
Okay.
bro. That's
Okay.
my guy.
I'll
Okay, so we're agreeing.
I'll move on.
Sommer.
Sommer, we
We're
agree.
agreeing with Sommer.
We agree on Sommer.
Okay, and then defense. Let's go to defense.
Defense. I'm gonna have to go Dumfries.
I totally so. Hakimi, we are Hakiming it. See, Hakima.
We're gonna have to agree
That
to
guy
disagree on that
Usizile
one.
Mfethu, he told us, don't put things in a woman's name. Put it in your mother's name. We cannot. Hakimi will be respected
One,
forever.
one for the
Hakim.
streets. One for the
Yeah,
streets.
bro.
One for the streets.
For
For
all,
sure.
no. Hakimi.
Nah, nah,
There's no, bro, more experience. Like, no, Hakimi, dude. Hakimi is the best in that position.
Here's what I'm saying. I can take Hakimi 100% if my system is different and I need to
Okay.
just add in a couple of players. So I'll take Hakimi and Dumfries, but I can't take Dumfries out of there at the same time.
All right.
So I'll go for Dumfries.
That's our first one we don't agree with, okay? So
Sure.
I'm taking Hakimi, you're taking Dumfries.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Left fullback, I'll go
Yeah.
Nuno Mendes.
Nuno! Welcome to the party, my brother. We were waiting for you, my brother.
Well,
Yes.
I've
Yes.
got Nuno. I've got Nuno there.
Thank you.
Centre backs, I don't have anyone from PSG. I'm definitely gonna go for Acerbi and I'm gonna go for Bastoni. Those two Inter boys are super sick. Those two Italian stallions. I'm gonna go for those homies.
I was going for Bastoni. I was going to go for De Vrij. I was going for super experience there,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But yeah, I'll concede Acerbi as well. So, Nuno. So, it's Sommer,
Yep.
Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, Bastoni, and who's the other one?
Acerbi.
Acha V. Yeah.
Acerbi. Him.
And then midfield dog.
Then midfield. Let's go Vitinha.
Obvious.
Let's go Vitinha.
90%
So
pass completion.
that'll be Vitinha and Barella in the center.
We are in agreement. Barella has to be there.
Vitinha, Barella, and then we're gonna go Kivicha on the left and Usman on the right.
Okay.
So Dembele,
Okay.
Kivicha, and then
Are you using two strikers or one?
I'm gonna use one striker. Actually, to tweak it a little bit, I'm gonna add Vitinha on the 10, and then I'm gonna add João Neves and Barella as my defensive solids and just two-pronged mids.
Okay.
So João Neves, Barella, and then I've got Vitinha on the 10, Dembele on the right, Kivicha on the left, and then I'm gonna go for Thuram leading my front pack.
Yeah, no, that's not far from. Yeah, that's not far from where I was going. Yeah, I can. No, I agree with you. I can copy. I was also checking as well that I was checking the injury list, and this goes back to what I was saying about age as well. The Inter Milan team is one of the. They have like quite a aged squad. When they check the average age of their team. So I've noticed. Yeah, I don't want to say it's like wine. Maybe it's like milk. Like I don't know. It's got that dew fresh type of vibe to it, bro. When I checked Thuram, Barella, Dumfries, there was a injury record of about even 7-10 games where they were out.
Yeah.
When I checked the players like Cava, Vitinha, Nuno Mendes, some of them weren't even injured. If someone was injured, it was 1 or 2 games. So I'm thinking energy-wise, enthusiasm-wise, like that, that youth. I think PSG is going to be up for it for that. For that alone, bruh. I think those players are going to be gunning. I think the hunger element is a 50-50 for Inter, where they could be hungry or they could be depressed. Yeah. Whereas for PSG, they're hungry straight.
All out,
that treble is is straight up hunger. There's no maybe PSG's up for it. No, they're up for it. We have to hope that Inter's up for it. We don't have to hope that PSG is up for it. They up for it. They are gonna be up for it. They're gonna be buzzing for this game. So you better hope Heritage, hey, really, it better taste like Fresca.
Let's
Because
see.
nothing tastes like Fresca.
Let's see how it goes, my brother. We've got a couple of hours to go until the Champions League final, ultimately.
Okay.
But yeah, man,
The
you've
big
got your PSG.
the big one.
I've got Inter. I'm not a betting man, bro, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, bro, it was a pleasure.
Okay.
It was a pleasure, bro. I appreciate you coming in, talking about this with me, bro, and just dissecting this little preview for the
Yeah.
Champions League finals. But we'll see.
For
I
sure.
mean, to everyone watching, you guys just comment, share your thoughts on obviously who you
Let
got
us know.
winning. You know what I mean?
Let us know, man.
Yeah.
I know you guys agree with me. I know you guys agree with me, so just let Lotliso know that he's wrong this time around. Like it's not just because he's banana
I
doesn't mean you have to agree with him.
I, I,
You
I
know,
I
you
know
know.
I know there's a little fraternity somewhere out there who are much like myself are believing in the
Guys,
fact that defense win championships. So I'll just rely on those ones, bro. I'll rely on those ones.
guys, it's Slony, guys. It's me. I'm the oracle, bro. I'm the one. I'm the chosen one. You understand? So I know my chosen brigade. Please show yourselves. Not we don't even need to know each other spiritually. I know we're in tune.
You
Just
got
let
it.
this guy know it's PSG. Just tell him what it is, so that when we go into the new season and we have to talk about transfers and all these things, he finally understands what it is. This man supports a team that let Tottenham win a trophy.
I think we need
You
to
know
wrap
what?
it up. I think we need to wrap it up, bro. I think
Thanks,
we
my
need to
brother.
wrap it. I think we need to wrap it up, bro. We're not talking about nothing else but Champions League today, bro. Nothing else but the Champions League, bro. But I appreciate you coming through
For
so much,
sure.
bro. Yo, please don't forget
Much
to
love, bro.
like, comment, share, subscribe on this channel,
Do
man. It's
that.
the Banana
Do
Peel
that.
Show. Sony was with us today, man. Thank you so much, Sony. And yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow, bro. Inter Milan for
Nah,
the
for
win.
sure. PSG all the way into an Wonder boy.
Sharp and Jagger.